You know, it's almost too cruel to comprehend. A 15-year-old child with autism, already battling mental health and vulnerability, was dragged into the machinery of counter-terrorism, treated first and foremost as a suspect, not a frightened, impressionable child. How on earth did we reach a point where such a young girl would be branded the youngest ever teenager to face terrorism charges in the UK? Yes, hello, welcome to the channel, it's me, Chris Brooks. So this story really is terrible. Let's carry on. Rhianan Rudd, described as bubbly, kind, loving, was groomed online by American neo-Nazis and influenced by extremist adults. She was manipulated by those who knew exactly how to exploit her autism and sense of isolation. And yet when her mother urgently referred her to Prevent, hoping for help, what followed instead was a police raid, 19 officers storming the house, arresting a 5.17-stone child, before society even properly treated her like a victim. Rhiannan's arrest wasn't just disproportionate, it was pernicious. The coroner made it clear she was highly affected by being treated as a criminal, terrified of going to prison, her mental health deteriorating as the legal process dragged on and on, while the real exploiters roamed free. Charges were eventually dropped, but as usual it was far too late. 5 months later, Rhiannan was dead. If this shocking failure isn't enough, consider that Ofsted, the nation's educational watchdog, has now officially published guidance suggesting that autistic children are more likely to be radicalised, effectively treating autism and autistic people as a red flag for extremism. That's not vigilance, that's profiling. It's a subtle but sly shift, seeing vulnerability as suspects and not a cry for help. Where was the system's humanity? Where were the trained health workers? Where were the trained social workers? Where were the experts in mental health or community support before they strapped her with the weight of terrorism charges? Instead, they interrogated her, severed her access to de-radicalisation programs like Prevent, and left her exposed to the worst of her vulnerability. And now we have yet another tragic statistic to hide behind. Not a systemic failure, says the authorities. This is not just a case of institutional overreach, it's a moral collapse. We have failed our most vulnerable. And if we claim that there are no systemic failures, we are lying to ourselves. Rhiannan deserved care, she deserved passion, and a path back to healing. Instead, we handed her to the dark forces, both online and in uniform, without the slightest empathy. She was exploited by extremists, and then she was exploited by a system that was supposed to care for her. That must stop. We cannot let another vulnerable, confused child slip through our bureaucratic cracks, branded, arrested and abandoned. We must demand accountability, reform and real hands-on support. Treat autism with understanding, not suspicion. Treat vulnerability with care, not criminalisation. And above all, treat every child as deeply human and not merely a case to be closed. Because if we fail to learn from Rhiannan's death, we become complicit in another avoidable tragedy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Look after yourselves, enjoy your day, and I will speak to you again soon.